Hey y'all, I just wanted to finish my conversation. I was interviewing my second interviewee for the day on my Unfiltered with Cara Jones Unlimited LLC podcast, and that was with Miss Paula McDowell, the life changer _45 in Brooklyn, New York. She is a thyroid cancer domestic violence survivor. And we were having such a good time that we hit that 59-minute mark, and Instagram cut us off. But her followers and the other people engaged in that conversation asked us to finish. And so we are going to finish. Hey there, Blazing Nova. I see her daughter, one of her daughters, Blazing Nova. Blazing Nova, did you send me that inbox message with that phrase that you posted on your mama's page? I need that, darling, because that was deep. But we're gonna go forth and finish. I'm gonna do a part two. I've done one interview earlier today. I don't know if y'all were able to participate in that with celebrity music artist Miki Howard, Miki Howard. Oh Lord Jesus, she is one of my absolute all-time favorites. And it was such a wonderful, engaging experience. And then I came over here right after with Paula. So Paula, I see that she is here on my live. I'm waiting for her to send me a request to join camera. There she is. Bring her on camera because we need to finish this thing. It was going someplace, and I believe it's a matter of conversation or topic of conversation that we need to touch on a little bit more. So,
can you see
Paula,
me?
do you remember where we left off? Yeah, I see you, girl. What were we talking about?
I don't remember. Look, I was getting ready to say, what were we talking about? I don't know.
Girl, we was talking about so
Look,
much. The Instagram
oh
was
yeah,
so
look.
rude, it just cut
We
us
were
off.
talking about once the damage has been done, it can't be reversed because we started talking about your dad, right? And Dorothea had said about him becoming diabetic the next day. Once the damage has been done, it can't be reversed. So we have to take care of ourselves now. Being able to discuss what you're going through, and sharing your experience with other people like what we're doing now, that at least gives us the opportunity. And that's right, daughter. You can make it on broken pieces. Nothing
There
is
it is, girl.
impossible.
Send it to my inbox, Blazing Nova.
Yes,
I
there's
need it in
nothing
my
impossible.
inbox. Because once this goes away, I won't see it anymore. Once I
Yes,
download it, it's gone. I don't see the
I got it.
comments.
I'll
I
send it
just
to
see the
you.
video.
I got it.
Okay,
I'll
love.
send it to you. Yes. But
Thank you.
we have to be able to know that, hey, Rosie, you have to be able to know that because, listen, what I found out on this journey of health and wellness and being able to turn my life around at 49, I'm in better health than I was at 39 because I took the time to heal myself. I took the time to listen to my body. And it's not done overnight. You know, it's a gradual process. Small things every day lead up to the big things that you need to change your life so you can live healthier, you can have more time with your loved ones, and just not being in pain constantly. Constantly being in pain is no life. That I feel like that's a prison sentence, when some of those things can be avoided just by the type of foods that you eat. Just getting up and moving your body around 10 to 15 minutes a day. You don't have to go to a gym. You can still be out big and healthy. You can still you could be a curvy fit chick. You can
Curvy.
be, yes, you could be a curvy fit chick. The first thing doctors always ask me, immediately, they always ask me as soon as they see me, because of my size, I know that's what it is. Are you diabetic? And I'm not diabetic. That's the first thing that they ask me because if you are, most of the time that complicates so many other things. But I'm very fortunate. Like I said, I remember where we left off because I told you I was homeless before. So
Yes,
you have
3 times.
3 times in New York, in Georgia, and in North Carolina. So
Okay.
yeah, I made it through all of that with my children. But it's all about being able to change your mindset because if you get stuck in a situation that, oh, this is woe is me and all the negativity, no, you got to be able to be. And I think personally, my personal thing is being a life learner. I'm not afraid, I'm
Yes.
teachable, and I'm willing to learn something different if that needs to be. just being able to be teachable sometimes can help you in a lot of situations because we don't know everything. And you can always learn something different. Always. So I'm blessed. I'm so blessed. And I'm so grateful each day for each breath that I have because I can remember when it wasn't so pleasant. And one of the things I used to tell my children all the time and my friends, I remember when I had tears, but it was tears because I was in so much pain. But I had the promise that one day they were going to be tears of joy. If you keep going, if you believe in Esther, you read the Bible and you read stories and you have people, just people around you to inspire you that you see every day. Sometimes what you're going through is not even for you, it's for somebody else. You gotta keep going so they can know that it's possible. And you have to keep going so they can know that it's possible. We don't get to choose our assignments. Sometimes our assignments choose us. So you gotta keep going. You gotta keep going. I could talk forever, so I'm going to finish up my cold tea.
Sip your tea. Please sip your tea. Girl, you done said so much right there. Mindset, number one. Yes. I teach on cognitive restructuring, I said.
Mm-hmm.
I teach on that. That means changing how we process our thoughts.
Yes.
Mindset is 99% of the solution. Then you talked about sometimes what you're going through is not for you.
It ain't even for you.
But for someone else who's watching you go through. There's a gospel song that said, be careful. Be careful how you treat your neighbor. Be careful, basically, how you carry yourself, because you never know who's watching you.
And you made me think
of someone. Go on, dear.
Always. That's always somebody's watching. And I was thinking about when I was going through when I was leaving, there was this one song that I used to always listen to. It was a gospel song about a Canton spirituals. I got to clean up what I messed up. Started my life all over again.
All over again.
I played it all.
What you know about the Canton spirituals? Well, that's right. You went to North Carolina.
Right. And sometimes, you got to sing and make yourself happy, and you got to keep going. Praise, you got to worship your way out of some stuff. And, sometimes when you put on that and you praise and worship, if you're living with somebody that don't believe the same thing you're doing, they'll leave. Every time I come home, you got this church man. You can run them out.
Bye.
You can run them out. Look, open up the door and they just fall right on out. I got to clean up what I messed up. And we gotta be able to do that. Look, you don't get stuck in a situation. I remember for me now, I'm talking about me. When I realized that I was choosing the same man, the same type of man with a different face. See, when you take accountability for the part that you play in the mess that you in, then you working with something. You can change something, but you gotta take your own accountability first. So I had to take that into consideration. That sometimes, you invite this stuff into your presence, but why is it? Let's look at what's going on.
A spirit? Was it a spirit?
Absolutely. You invite that in because we've been through so much. We didn't even know we was traumatized. But when you realize, when you know better, you do better. So you got to be connected to the right thing and the right people if you want to come out. But if you always want to be woe is me, crab in the basket mentality, I don't want to live like that. So we have to make choices. Life is about choices.
Blazing Nova said, that's your daughter. You aggravate their demons. Girl, you better preach. What you know about that, Blazing Nova? You just a baby.
She know. We had to pray our way out. Sometimes
right.
There ain't no money gonna get you out where you gotta go. Sometimes you got to fast and pray your way out. It ain't even about the money. It's about what you believe and what you stand on. Are you gonna take this time, or are you gonna move forward? How many warning signs do you need?
Oh, what's a warning sign? What's a warning sign for domestic violence, Paula?
Warning sign. So I was just thinking for me, the person repetitive, abusive words, or saying, "Oh, I'm sorry this time. I'm going to make it up to you. I love you." Red flags don't turn green. Red flags do not turn green. If they
That's
red in the
good.
beginning, they're going to be red throughout the relationship. Red flags do not turn green. I don't care how cute he look. I don't care what kind of cologne he got on, what kind of suit he got on. Red flags do not turn green.
Okay, I'm
Right.
moving around a little bit.
How many times? But we come there when you're complete and whole with yourself, then you won't have to be
Yes.
attached to people and spirits like that. But it takes work.
Right.
It takes work. It was not done overnight. I have not always been this confident and always stood around with this smile. I remember when I had these teeth cracked from domestic violence.
Really?
Yep.
Did that mess with your self-confidence? Yeah.
It did for a while because I had to get it fixed. It was chipped, and I begged the
Okay.
doctor. For a while, it did, but I knew that I didn't want to be in that situation, so I had to start making my way back. That was when they had old timey flip phones back in the 90s when the
Yep.
flip phone went up. Oh, and if
I
we survived,
remember.
anybody that survived the 80s, they ought to be grateful.
Ah, I did. And baby, you know what? It wasn't easy.
It was not
It was
easy.
not. I experienced a lot of trauma in the 80s.
That's right. Amen.
Yes, seriously.
Yes. Coming all the way back, I did a lot of trauma going through, and I used to work in the 80s and the 90s. One of my first jobs was working with people living with HIV and AIDS when their own family didn't want to be in contact with them. Because like I said, I was a caregiver. So
Okay.
I feel really blessed to have had the opportunity to serve,
To serve.
in different capacities. In
Yes, to
different
serve.
capacities. To serve in
And
different capacities.
that's what a lot of people don't understand, that a lot of times it's in serving that we distract ourselves from what we're going through.
Amen. So
A
true.
life of service is really what we're called to do
Yes.
if we're not so self-centered and self-absorbed.
That's right. A
Well,
life of service.
ma'am.
I said a life of service, giving somebody the information and the opportunity to change where they are. If it wasn't for
Exactly.
one person to do that for me, so we have to remember, even if we come out, there should be a point where you want to reach back and give somebody else the same information or more that was given to you.
Right.
I need somebody to know with four small children, you don't have to stay, even if you think that you can't make it because he make all the money or whoever your partner is make all the money. You don't have to stay. There's always a
Right.
way. So,
So what
just
would
keep
you
on your
say to
foot.
the woman? Because I have had clinical mental health counseling clients who were domestic violence um, survivors, those who got away. What would you say to the woman as we are entering Domestic Violence Awareness Month next month? What
Yes.
would you say to the woman right now who may be in a situation in their home or relationship wise where they are being physically, mentally, emotionally, or financially abused, and they don't think that they can um, move on? What would you say to them? How might you encourage them?
I would like to say to you that there's always a way, especially if you're a mom. I want to let you know you have an obligation to your children for them to know that this is not a way for them to live. And if you really think about it, all the stuff and things are not so important because stuff and things can be replaced, but your life can't.
Right.
Though all those things that you think are so important, your life can't. Your life can't be replaced. When I was moving around and I lived in one room, one hotel room with my children, I was grateful because I had the opportunity to get away before he really spiraled out of control. And we got to think about that. How is this going to affect your children? And most of the time, what I really can't stand for them to say, you stay for the children. You stay for the children, and then you create something totally different in a toxic environment and toxic people, little people that turn into toxic big people because you decided to stay in this toxic relationship. And then you don't know what's
Ah,
going on with all this toxic things because you have convinced yourself that you have this perfect life. But that's another story. So,
Was
please,
perfect. Perfect by whose terms too, eh?
right, right, by your terms and your standards, because for
Right.
me, I would say you don't want to admit that, have everybody else say, I told you so. So I'm going to try, I'm going to make it work, even if it kills me, because I don't want to have to go back to my mom's house, or I don't want to have to go back, whatever you tell yourself, you're going to stay because you're
And
going to
it
make it
just
work.
might kill you too.
It just might kill you
And your children.
and your children. More has been more and more now than ever before. So take a
Yes.
long look, think about it, and I pray that you can make the connection with the person that you need, so you can move forward and you can come out of that relationship, because everybody deserves to live in a safe environment. Everybody deserves to be able to sleep in peace, and everybody deserves to live abuse free. Yes, it's
Right.
definitely, it's not just physical. We said that earlier. It's not just
No, not
physical.
at all. There's many
So,
elements to domestic violence. And I
yes,
just, as we come to a close, Paula, I just
yes.
want to again thank you for
Thank you for having
sharing.
me. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
We're going to do it again if you don't mind, because
Sure.
you've shared on so many different realms and levels. And I'm sure that people will be blessed by your story
Thank
and
you.
the information. Like I said, there are many people who are diagnosed with different types of cancer. There's so many different types of cancer these days, and like where they all come from, right?
Hmm.
But a lot of times, what we hear is we hear about the diagnosis, we hear about the prognosis, but we don't hear about the symptoms, what it felt like, what it looked like.
Yeah.
And I thank you for your transparency and
Thank
willingness to
you.
be able to share, so
Okay.
that people who may be feeling something different in
Yeah.
their body, you know what I'm saying?
Yes. Check
They
it
might
out.
identify with the information that you shared and be like, maybe I need to go get this checked and ask these specific questions of my doctor.
Yeah. Exactly. Pay attention. Remember, the body speaks to you. You just have to be still so
Ah,
you can listen.
there it
You
is.
have to be still so you can listen. The body speaks to you. Be still, and you will be able to hear and feel and know.
And feel.
Yes. And sometimes it depends, maybe even smell what's going on. Sometimes,
Ah,
yes.
what do you mean by that?
Sometimes when you have things going on with your throat or whatever type of cancer it is, it could be a smell. It could be,
Really?
yes, it could be a smell, like a sweet smell sometimes, where and it depends on what your diet is. There was a case once where a dog detected cancer in the owner because of the way the breath smelled. It was kept. It was something about it. I can't remember now, but of course, when you first find out about cancer, you do a lot of different
You look at
research.
everything.
Yes, and look at everything, but not enough to drive myself crazy. I was looking on a positive note because I wanted to know what I needed to do to change my life, so I
Yes.
could, make it better. The exercises in the beginning, yum yum, for my voice, and the different foods, what to eat, nothing, well, not too much acidity, uh, for my voice. Of course, I love ginger. I love drinking teas and just being hydrated. And like I said, listening to your body, being aware. If you eat something that doesn't agree with you, then try something different. And always take notes. I did a food journal. Data is very important when you're talking to your
Yes.
doctor. So journal, journal, journal. If you don't journal now, it's a good time to start, especially when you're going through a
Right.
process, and it's always good to have information, because I even went back to look on my journal before we started this. And when you first talked to me, I had to go back and look over some things, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. So it was all fresh in my
Good.
mind. Thank you again for having me. I'm super excited, and I can't wait to see what God is going to do next.
Absolutely. And before we close, you've been sharing some wonderful products, health products that you, um, I guess, sell, right? So I
Yeah.
wanted you to share with our viewers and listener what your products are called and how they might be, people who might be interested in researching them or purchasing them, can get to you for that.
Well, actually, my daughter, uh, she makes smoothies and juices and shots, and I'm so sorry. I do not have the information, but I am gonna get it up because I didn't even talk to her. I don't know why I didn't expect that. I'm usually more prepared, but
But
also,
there is something else. Hold
I
on a
do
minute
drink,
here. I'm going to go to your page. Hold on one moment.
drink to shrink.
On your page, you have been talking about drink to shrink. What is
Yeah.
that?
Ooh, I gotta stand up because I got a cramp in my foot. So you're gonna see me stand up. Sorry. Drink to shrink. Yes, that is a
Okay.
herbal product that I use to drink to lose weight, and it is amazing. We have 9 different natural products. Detox
Okay.
and drink, and I drink it every morning before I go out. I want to maintain. I don't want to lose any more major weight, but once you get your thyroid out, it affects your metabolism. So you want to have that
Yes.
metabolism. I want to be able to maintain and get out to exercise. But yes, I do have drink to shrink, and it is a liquid. I use it every morning, and it helps me to get rid of my excess belly fat and helps me.
Ah,
And it also, guess what? I found out over time for using it, it helps with the different pains and also the hot flashes. In the beginning, I used to rain through my clothes. I had to get up and shower 2 or 3 times a night. And I've been going through menopause.
wow.
I've been going through menopause since 43. I started.
Yeah, I actually started, I'm 54.9, and I started menopause at 34. And so it went away for many years.
Mhm.
And your camera's fine, by the way.
Okay.
It went away for many years and then it came back with the flashes. So, yeah, it's called perimenopause into
Yeah.
menopause, so
And those are side effects
it's
too of getting your
different.
thyroid removed. The hot flashes are also side effects for me getting my thyroid
Really?
removed. Yes, and the
Okay.
levothyroxine that I take. I take levothyroxine one every day. I've been trying to
Okay.
find something I can replace it with from the nature and the health food store, but I haven't yet. But I'm still working on it. If I can find
Okay.
something, a supplement that I can take, but I wouldn't have to take that every day. But I'm working on it. We'll see what happens.
You mean on the medication?
Yes, that's one that
Well,
I
I heard
would.
that when you have parathyroid removal or full thyroid removal, you will be on that medication for life
Yes,
for
they say that.
hormonal balance.
Right, and I take breaks. Sometimes I'll go for 30 days or 45 days without taking it. I want to see how my
Really?
body responds. Yeah, but I take it and I talk to my doctor. She was like, "You gotta do
Okay.
what you want to do anyway, Miss McDowell." So I was like, "Yeah, well, I'm gonna try this." So I'm gonna try that, but I'm just letting you know. So
Well, I'm happy to hear you say that you did advise or inform your doctor that you went against her advisement
I
because
did.
I will say this to whomever's listening. If your medical clinician has prescribed for you medication, you need to take it as directed. If you
Yes,
choose to not do so, then that's you and your own recognizance, right?
exactly.
So, but like Paula, if you do that, please tell your doctor so that if there is something contrary that should come up, at least
Right.
it's documented and they know where to start looking for the
Exactly. Have
problem.
a conversation. The doctor works for
Yes,
you. When you go to your doctor, if you have any
right.
issue, if they can't help you, if you don't tell them what's going on, you can't get help if nobody knows
Absolutely.
what's happening. That's what I want to say. In closing, you can't get help if no one knows what's going on. So don't be afraid to ask for help.
Absolutely. Well, with that, we are signing off from part two of Unfiltered with Cara Jones Unlimited LLC podcast with Miss Paula McDowell of Brooklyn, New York. She is the thyroid cancer survivor, domestic violence survivor.
Yes.
She is the life changer. Have a good night.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
my
Bye bye.
sis. Thank you.